Hi folks, how we're doing today is the 18th of July 2023. Nearly forgot again then. How are you all doing? Let me know in the comments. I was doing a Reiki session on a client last week and I thought, I don't think I've ever done a video on Reiki. And I was quite shocked because I thought actually Reiki is a big part of my business. I do readings, I do shamanic healing, I do mentoring, I do land and home clearance, all distant. I thought I've never really spoken about Reiki. It might get weaved in now and again. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a video where I talk about Reiki because I get asked questions. You have to mention it briefly. So I'm going to keep this bit of it simple. What is Reiki? I'm going to keep this really simple. It's a form of Japanese alternative therapy. So it's a form of healing. And you can go off and you can Google it and you can get a book on it, but I'm going to keep it really simple because I do think that's a big problem at the minute. There are so many modalities out there, but a lot of them are made more complex than what they need to be. And you, as a client, you maybe look at something and go, because it's got all this airy-fairy wording and all this complexity. In fact, I remember once going on a website years ago when I wanted Reiki, and I remember thinking, oh my God, all I want to do is book a session. And it was just ream and ream and ream of information. It was like, what? You know, it just went way above me. This was years ago. And I just thought, no, I just want to, keep it simple, keep it brief and keep it to the point. Because that's what people want. We've not got the time, but I just think we've just not got the, what's the word I'm looking for? When somebody comes to healing, they're already in a conflict mode. They're already in quite a foggy brain. There's a trauma. That's how most people come into it. Something gives in their life. So they need healing, therapy, psychotherapy, Reiki, whatever, shamanic healing, crystal healing, whatever they're drawn to, either via their community, friends, family, whatever. And a lot of the time we just can't process all the information, we just want simple. So, get to it, Claire. It's a form of Japanese healing. And basically the Reiki teacher, Reiki master, Reiki practitioner accesses this energy using various symbols that he or she will draw over the client, on the healer's hands and around the room, okay? And you can have it hands-on, so where you go see someone, you lay on a treatment bed, you'll be wrapped in blankets, there's candles, there's incense, there's music, and they will start on your head and they will work down. And before your session, you will talk about areas in your life that you're struggling with. You will, because there's got to be a reason why you want healing, unless you're a tourist, a healing tourist that just sees something and wants to try it. I would advise you against that because that's what we call dabbling. So to hear of a healing modality and go, oh, I fancy trying that. No, there's got to be a calling there. There's got to be, well, actually I've heard of Reiki and it's done wonders for my mum, or it's done wonders for my work colleague. I don't know much about it, but I think this is what I need now, and I want to embrace this. And I don't just want one session, I want a few, and I'll come to that in a minute. And no, I'm not trying to sell it, and I'm not trying to get loads of money out of people, but it's like anything, the more you do it, the more you get out of it. So, and then you're late, and then he or she will ask you lots of questions about your medical history, etc. when you do a face-to-face one, okay? And you lay on the bed and you may feel sensations like a cold sensation, warm sensation. Some healers put their hands on physical, some hold off. You can choose. If you don't want hands-on, you can say just hover, okay? A typical session, depending on what the healer's doing, you can get them for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 45, 60 minutes, okay? I do mine for 60 minutes. You can do it in person, where the hands are on you in a physical place, or you can do it distance, which is what I do. I used to do it hands-on, but now I do it distance. It's the same thing. Healer will check in with you just before. That's your opportunity to be open with your healer, to tell them why, to tell you why you're drawn to it, to tell you what I want to achieve from the session. Any areas in your life that you're struggling with, if it's financial, if it's emotional, if you've had trauma or bereavement, now's your time to share it so the Reiki can be sent to where it's needed, okay? With distance Reiki, you will be at home. You will be resting, so you can set up your own space. You can get your own candles, your own incense, you can listen to your own music. I actually prefer distance healing. I never thought I would say that. And the reason being, I remember I used to have a big summer house where I used to do treatments hands-on. And I remember seeing people leave my summer house and they'd be like, and you'd keep them for as long as you can, but you can't keep them forever. Because in some cases, when you have healing, you can be a bit woozy all day. And I think, God, they've got to get buses, they've got to get, trains, they've got to drive, they've got to go out into their matrix. And they've just had this beautiful healing energy. And now they've got to go out into that contamination. And when you've had healing, and especially when you've been in that healing energy, you can feel quite overwhelmed afterwards, especially when you go out into the otherworldly things, the physical matrix. And I think when you have distance healing, you're in your own home, you're in your own comfies. You don't have to get there, you don't have to battle traffic, you don't have to pay for petrol, you don't have to find parking, you don't have to get a bus, a train, you then don't have to come, and then on the way home, you're home. If you need the toilet, you don't have to say, Claire, I've got a bit of diarrhea from that Reiki, I need your toilet. Now, if you feel a bit sick or if you feel a bit emotional, or when you've had a healing and the healer comes into your face like that and it's like, we're done. Although they shouldn't do that to you, but some people do. And you may not want to chat afterwards, you may feel a bit, I just want to relax and just sleep. And it's like, we're done now and we're finished, and you've got to be communicative. Distance healing takes away all that. Distance healing, be it my form of modality, Reiki or shamanism, or any other form, just takes that away. And I think, I like distance healing now, I really do. I never say never, but yeah. Reiki can be used on adults, children, teenagers, animals, okay? So, yeah, elderly, the young, toddlers, okay? Reiki helps to fire up and remind the body of its natural healing process. The body actually knows exactly how to heal itself, but when we're born into this physical matrix and then we get conditioned via various ways, we forget. The body forgets. It becomes reliant on things like caffeine, alcohol, drugs, recreational or medicines. This is the norm. The body forgets that actually it's got this system within itself that can self-heal and self-nurture. And what Reiki does and what makes it so beautiful and so multifaceted, Claire, is that it can do all of that. It fires up and reminds the body to self-heal. So the more Reiki sessions you have, what happens eventually is when you get a cold, your body heals yourself naturally throughout quicker. I used to get horrific colds and flus when I was a dental nurse. Horrific. When I got cold, I got cold. I would never ever get it was always bang, honestly awful. I would also get horrific sickness bugs as well. That's my purge, okay? That's how I used to purge before I knew about this kind of stuff. And now I very rarely get them. And if I do get them, I move through them quite quickly. I move through it quite quickly. So say if I got a cold, I'd be Reikiing myself all of the time. I'd probably Reiki myself with a cold 3 days, three times a day, on a morning, round about lunchtime, and before I go to bed, with the intention of getting my body back to healing itself. And because as well, and you'll know this as well if you're a healer, because as a healer, the Reiki comes through you, through your hands into the client. When you get healing sessions, when you do healing sessions as a healer, you also get a healing zap as well. So yeah, as healers, you get all this energy coming through you all the time. People always say to me, you're shining in videos, Claire, or the more I watch your videos, the more you shine. That's it. A very basic skincare routine. Going through a stage of dyeing one's hair a bit, a few colours at the minute to find out where I fit. Wear a bit of makeup, but that's it. Honestly, that's what makes you shine, is Reiki, is healing. It helps to clear your traumas. It helps to ease you through traumas as well. And it doesn't necessarily take things away. And I think we need to get out of that thing of, I just want to live a life where there's no trauma or no pain. because actually you're in this earthly thing where there is a lot of that, and there's a lot of lessons to be learned, and a lot of teaching. But what it does is it moves you through it quicker, and it moves you through it gentler. And the more sessions you have, the more you're able to see through the mist, through the illusion, and the more you're able to see the deeper meaning of your traumas. So it's fantastic. So also as well, you can send Reiki to specific areas of your life. So say if I have a client that comes in, well obviously comes in online, and they say to me, Claire, you know, I'm doing good, but next week I've got an operation. Or next week I've got a really important meeting and I'm shitting myself. I've got a job interview. Could you do me a favour, Claire? Could you send Reiki to that job interview for me? Me personally, I would do that. So if my client came in, they're a regular client, or even if they're a one-off client, I'd give the Reiki to them on the session, but I'd also be sending it to that situation. Now, if a client came in and said, I want you to send it to this and I want you to send it to that, and that's very ungrounded, and I wouldn't do that. But if somebody said, I've got a funeral or I've got something big that I need some help with, I'd tie it in. Also as well, you can use Reiki for medications. So say again, you've got a client that's on some rough medication and they say, whilst you're Reikiing me, Claire, could you send it to my medications? Because we still live in a physical world and there's still medications about, okay? And it's not our job as healers to start telling people to go off medication. You never ever do that. Because boy, if that goes wrong, you're liable, honestly. And even if you don't get physically liable, energetically, that's not good. It's a very shady area, very grey area. So say that's a box of tablets and it's on someone's side. You just send it to the box of tablets, and that takes away any of the controversial stuff that's in there, stuff that's not of benefit. If you're Reiki trained yourself, I'm actually now telling you how to suck eggs, but for people that are thinking about it, you can Reiki your food. You can Reiki your water. You can Reiki the rooms of your house. You can Reiki your car. You can Reiki your own meds and your own stuff. You can Reiki your makeup. You can Reiki your clothes. It's limitless. It really is limitless, and it's beautiful. It really is beautiful. It helps the chakra systems. It fires up the chakra systems. It clears energetic debris from the chakra systems. It flushes the chakra systems out. It flushes the system out. It takes away the chaos, and it takes away the mess, and it takes away the fog. And like for me going through perimenopause, I am self-Reikiing through that. As of where I am now, and I'm not boasting for this, and I am still early days, but I'm not at the minute taking anything for it. I'm feeling certain sensations, but I'm going down it, I'm self-Reikiing through it. So when I'm doing my Reiki in the morning, because I Reiki myself every day, that's just one of the areas I focus on. Hormones, especially around periods and all of that. So it's about I mean, I can remember one of you when I did that video about perimenopause and menopause, and you actually said that you'd got through it with self-healing and going to healers and watching what you were eating. So yeah, it can help with pregnancy. Hereby hangs a tale. It can help with pregnancy if you were the Reiki healer yourself. So if I got pregnant, I would Reiki myself through the pregnancy. I'd Reiki the baby. But because of the way the world is now, do you Reiki someone that's pregnant? It depends on your relationship with that person. If you know that person is a grounded, sensible individual that knows the bigger picture and sees the bigger picture, and you know there's a really good, you just trust that it works, fair enough. But if it's just somebody coming in off the street, the sad thing is if something should happen during that pregnancy, you know, it's easier to blame the Reiki. Or, you know, an angry relative, you were all right till you had that Reiki. People can be a bit whoa when things like that happen. But again, I think that's Reiki healer's discretion and how comfortable you are with it. But yeah, honestly, it can help with children and children that are experiencing bullying in the playground. You know, we take away when we go for regular hair appointments. Claire is going for regular hair appointments. So what colour is she going to be next week? We go for regular hair appointments. We cut our nails regular. We get showered regular. We get washed regular. We get bathed regular. We paint our nails regular. We clean our houses regular. If we don't, we should be. Why are we not looking after our energy field? Because if you think about how dirty the physical body gets, just one day you get sweaty, you get warm, you get debris, you get the same energetically. So Reiki helps to clear that off you. Regular Reiki helps to clear that from your chakra systems. It helps to clear it from your energy field. It can also, you know, you can have a Reiki session, you can also find out things that may be wrong with you as well. I'm not saying that we're doctors, we're not. But your healer may say to you, you know, your solar plexus feels very slow, fast, or there's a block here, I don't know what it is, but I'm feeling that there's something with the stomach. And you go, okay, I'll go to the doctor. And then the doctor goes, God, yeah, you've got IBS, or you've got, I don't know, Crohn's, or whatever it is, or I don't know, I'm not a doctor, but that can come up as well. So it's also a good way of checking in with yourself. I remember years ago, because I attuned to Reiki years ago as a dental nurse. I never used it. And that is something I get triggered about now, even though I did it myself. Because you see this a lot, me included. It's naivety, a lot of the time it's naivety. You're trying to find that escapism, you're trying to find something. And the thing is, in order to be the healer, you have to be well on your healing journey yourself. And you go and you get your Reiki attunement. So basically it's 1, 2, 3, and in some cases 4, depending on what the teacher does. Reiki level 1 is when you can Reiki yourself and Reiki your immediate family. Okay, you're attuned to a level that you can Reiki yourself and immediate family. So you can Reiki your own pregnancy, you can Reiki your baby. Reiki level 2 is when you can be a Reiki, do all the level 1 stuff, and you can also work as a practitioner. Okay, so you can open your own Reiki business. Reiki level 3, some people split this into Reiki master or Reiki master teacher. Okay, so Reiki master, you've advanced your knowledge of it. You've got a higher frequency of Reiki coming through you into your client. Again, you can still work as a practitioner. And then Reiki teacher is when you can attune people. I have not actually done my Reiki teacher yet because I'm not ready to teach people. And again, so many people do this. They go off and they do the practitioner training and they're not in a position to do it. And I get so triggered because it's just a waste. It's a waste of having that energy within you because you've got nowhere to give it out. I have known people that have been Reiki trained and can actually make themselves quite ill because they're not letting that flow go. They're not letting that release. It's like cleaning your channels out. If you've got all this energy that wants to come through but you're not working as a practitioner, you're going to get blocks. You're going to get overwhelmed. And actually, it's almost like a bit of a kickback. So respecting each level 1, level 2, level 3, it's like if I went to do my teaching, or if I'm not ready to be the teacher yet, or I'm not set up to be the teacher yet, which I'm not, because I've not got a space to do it, that's just ego. So it's about having respect for it. What else about Reiki? So why are you saying regular sessions, Claire? Are you trying to make money out of people? I'm not actually. And like I said in the entity video, I am now fully booked until November. So you can watch this and go, shit, well that's not gonna help us, is it, Claire? Time flies, by the way. But yes, regular Reiki. Well, so as a practitioner, master, okay, Reiki master, not master teacher, master, I'd recommend, you're new to me, 6 to 7 weeks between sessions. If you're going through a trauma, a really horrific trauma, again it depends on the client, it depends on the healing journey you're at, etc. You can have it every week if you wanted, every 3 weeks, every 4 weeks, as regular as you need until you're out of that, until you're in a better place, until you're more balanced, so you're more wholesome again. But yeah, every 6 to 8 weeks, every 6, 7 or 8 weeks, okay? And if you want it more, you can have it more. If you want it less, with the shamanic healing, once you've had your initial 3 sessions with me, so your Zoom call and your 2 2-hour sessions, I always recommend clients 1 to 2 sessions a year because shamanic healing is very different to Reiki. Reiki is beautiful. Shamanic healing is beautiful, that's for another video, but Reiki is unique, so is shamanic healing. Reiki is beautiful, it's calming, it's healing, it brings stillness, it brings balance, it helps with insomnia, it helps with anxiety, it helps with overwhelm, it helps with hormones, it helps with disease, illness, it helps with life, it helps with the cost of living as well, all that stuff going on. You'll find that the people that are moving through all the global stuff, that we're going through on all that kind of stuff, those that are having regular healing sessions will move through it in a much smoother way. Honestly, I observed that myself. When you have accidents or when you become ill, if you've had regular healing, you will find you will move through it much smoother and quicker. It's not going to make you perfect, but it's going to make you more in tune, and it just fires at the body. So another example of how beautiful Reiki is, this is a mind blower. So we've got a client, this client falls, elderly client, they've had regular Reiki sessions for quite some time. They've been on regular group healings for quite some time, okay? They've also had individual shamanic sessions, but they tend to go down the Reiki route. They tend to go down the group healing route, which is fine, okay? So this person falls and they shatter their arm. They shatter their wrist into 5 pieces. They take out they break their collarbone and they take, the shoulder, and that could dislocate the shoulder. So we've got somebody elderly who's got arthritis and it's like boom, 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 okay? It's such an extent that the doctors say we can't operate. If this was a young rugby player, they would be into surgery straight away, and we can't operate because your brain, basically with the form of arthritis this person's got, it's called, where it affects the bones, like brittle bones. So if we screw into the bones, boom, it'll just shatter. So I don't know what we're gonna do, because we're gonna put you in a cast and we'll pull you out and relocate you and hope and pray, and we'll keep monitoring you. So what does this person do? They go and they get another session of Reiki, and this session of Reiki is focused on reattaching the bones and causing healing. Wait a minute, Claire, for those of you that know about Reiki, if someone's got broken bones, you're not meant to do Reiki until they're in the plaster cast. This is different because this person was in the plaster cast and surgery is not an option. But then you know what happens is, because number one, the client is used to, the client's body is used to self-healing via the group healings. So all the traumas that they've helped to heal by doing the group healings that I do, all the Reiki sessions that they've had, the shamanic healing, the body goes, oh, yeah, I know, yeah, I've got arthritis, which I'm actually a lot better than I would be, but I know I can self-heal. This person has gone from being absolute agony to they're on the mend, to an extent like that the surgeon's like, whoa, well done. We were going to see you every week, but now we're going to see you 4 weeks. And if you carry on healing like you are healing, that pot will be coming off in 4 weeks. That is because of healing. And that is a true story, a recent true story. And I can share that with you. I'm not breaking any confidences with that. So that is a true example of what Reiki does and the power of Reiki. And it made me think about, at the time, I thought, would it be amazing if hospitals had Reiki departments in? Well, when that surgeon said, God, we can't operate here because we operate, we're just going to boom, we'll blow your bones to smithereens because they're too brittle. But what we have got, we've got an amazing Reiki department that we can actually send you to. So we'll still monitor you here, we'll still have your cast, so you'll still come for your x-rays, but we'll send you to Reiki. Imagine that. How many other things within the medical field that we're not going to be able to do or heal with the standard? And that's going to be more of that, by the way, that's going to be coming up. Imagine that. I've always said that's the ideal world, the medical and the holistic working together. Because there's things they can do that I can't do. I can't put an arm in a cast. I can't cut and operate. But both of these modalities, that's how you change it. That's how you, and that's a game changer, I think. So let's put that out into the universe. I do know that some hospitals are starting to do it on a voluntary basis, but I don't think you're paid. And I think that's unfair. I also think as well, there's so many clients I see that would love to do Reiki, but they're still in the health service, which is fine. But they're struggling on wards in the ward matrix for various reasons. Wouldn't that be amazing if there was a huge department, a holistic department? Because not everyone can set up a business, a holistic business. There's not room for hundreds and thousands and millions of holistic businesses. But wouldn't that be brilliant if those that are struggling on the ward, they're just sick of the matrix or the wars of politics, could find a holistic department within a system that they already work in? I think that's biblical. Anyway, so that's an example of what Reiki can do. So I know it's not going to be a magic potion where it takes away the art and it takes away this, but over time. So this person, I genuinely believe without the energetic intervention, it would have been unbearable. I've also spoken to this person about using Metatron's cube and the way that this person can work with themselves without Reiki being there, how they can reprogram water. Have I got one here? No, I haven't. So basically Metatron's cube, we know what that looks like, don't we? We know what that looks like. If you don't, you can Google it. So you buy a wooden plaque, okay? Say if you suffer from some kind of an illness, buy a wooden plaque. Buy two, one for your tablets, one for your water. So every time you pull some water out of your tap or your filter, look at the water and go, so say this is your water, right? So you've got arthritis or you've got anxiety or you've got distress or whatever. And you look at the water and you can just say in your head, help to heal anxiety, help to bring peace. Say you're going to your job interview and you can go, help me with the job interview. It works. We know that we can talk to water and reprogram water. You then get your Metatron's plaque and you put it on. That is just something you can do yourself to just help you through your life. So that's Reiki for you. And Reiki as well, I do Reiki on pets and animals, because remember the James Herriot video when James Herriot, the vet, said we need to start including animals in holistic practices. You know, people's cats, dogs, all animals can benefit from Reiki. At the minute there are so many anxious pets for various reasons. Either they've started off in environments that have been abusive, they've been neglected, or they've got owners that may, because remember, animals absorb. Animals are like children. If you're a very anxious person, your cat and dog will become anxious. If there's a lot of anger in that house, they will absorb that. So there's a lot of vulnerable pets out there at the minute, a lot of vulnerable animals as well, because they're going through all these shifts and changes. So Reiki is, honestly, when you do Reiki for an animal, beautiful. When I'm doing Reiki for a client, even when they've paid, which they do, they're booked in, they want it, there's still a block there. You've got to kind of like, come on now, you've paid for this healing, and because we've got our walls up, humans have our walls up, don't we, without even realising it. When you do it on an animal, boom, straight in. They just don't have the walls that we have. So if you've got pets, regular Reiki. And the same thing for your pets, to keep them healthy, to keep them balanced, to keep them, you know, in a state of zen and peace. And if you're sat there thinking, well, there's a big block with healing, I understand where it comes from, it's the block of I can't afford that. Well, why don't you rechange that and go, okay, at the minute things are hard, but this too shall pass, and one day I'm going to book and I'm going to get regular Reiki, or I'm going to get regular group healing, or I'm going to get regular crystal sessions. Or you make a kitty up. Because we've got to be so careful how we speak and what we say with our words, especially in this present climate, not crisis. I see I did it there. Because when we say something and put that, we cause more of it. We cause more of it, and more of it comes in. I remember early doors when I first set up, I did a group healing, and you know, I can't buy the little altar cloth. This is when I was looking into buying altar cloths. And I bought myself one, and I thought I really like that one as well. You know, when I have a reading with you, sometimes you clients may say I've got one here now, a little cloth on my desk. And I was like, God, that's expensive. And my guide said, why? Why else? You've got the money. And I had the money. And I went and I bought it. And as I bought it, my phone beeps and a session came in. And I've seen that so often. This isn't about splurging or impulse buying. This is about stuff that we need in our working lives, in our holistic lives, in our own personal lives. And that's another thing that Reiki can help you with. It can help you heal those abundance traumas, because so many people carry them. So many people get locked into lack, and I've been there and done that without even realising it. So I can only talk about me here. So that's why I've set up what I've set up at Healing for Ascension. We've got the shamanic healing, which is, I won't muddy the waters and talk about different modalities in this, but that's the biggest one you can do with me. So that's 5 hours worth of work. Okay, so that's the high cost one because of the work that's involved in there, which there's entity removal, curse removal, and all of that. Then you've got Reiki, and then you've got group healing. So there should be I know there's on my menu, there's stuff for any kind of price barrier there, or price package or cost. So don't let money hold you back from healing. Even if all you can do is go and do meditations on YouTube, don't let it become the block to your healing, because it just holds you back. What was I going to say about? Right, moving on. I get triggered when people use Reiki or big Reiki up and say it does things that it doesn't. And there's a lot of that at the minute. And I've briefly mentioned this. So if somebody says to you, Reiki can remove entities, no, it doesn't. When I am working and I'm doing shamanic healing, there are different guides that turn up, and there's different preparations I do to when I'm doing Reiki. And there's a different energy, there's a different frequency. If you go for a session of Reiki, you're going for relaxation, you're going for Zen, you're going for bliss, you're going for switch off. You are not going for, there's a demonic entity and I'm just about to remove it. Oh, whilst you were on the bed, I had to remove that. It's not appropriate. But say if you come to me and I'm doing Reiki, I'm like, oh God, we've got a bouncer here. Something's bouncing off. Say if you're in the room with me, and say if there's a time, and say if I know that you're in a good state and you're in a good place, I may say to you, we've got something that's arisen, can I nip it whilst I'm here? That's fine, because that person is trained for Reiki. They're also trained in extraction. But what there is a lot going on now is there are many people that are training for one thing and they're claiming they can do all other things. And it muddies the waters. And it's not ethical. I don't think it's ethical. And I think it's abuse of Reiki, because Reiki is so beautiful and so unique and brings so much to the table without having to without the add-ons. You know, when you're online shopping, it's add-on. I don't like that. And I think it's so powerful and unique in its way. So it doesn't remove curses. Does it remove cords? Yes, it can do, but you've still got the roots of the cord within you, okay? So when we do it with the shamanic healing, when we take the cord off you, we cut the cord and we take the root out. And people don't realise, I've cut my cord, well, the root's still in. So yeah, it's about, why are you going for Reiki? You're going for health, for well-being, for relaxation. You're going for extraction, which is like shamanic healing or other forms of extraction, because you've got you've got a friend, or you've got something heavy going on in your life where you need a little bit of intervention, okay? It's the equivalent of, say you go for a heart operation, and whilst you're having your heart operation, the heart surgeon goes, oh, she's got a knobbly knee. I'll replace that knee whilst I'm here. And you wake up from your heart operation, you think, yo, my knee's sore. Imagine that. Imagine if you went for a surgery and you went for your heart or whatever, and you woke up and they'd operated on something else, totally unattached to it. Taking your womb out or something like that. What would you feel like? And it's the same thing, so be mindful of that and be wary of that, because, with extraction work, there's how are you taking it off? Where are you then going to remove it and send it to? Don't put too much pressure on Reiki. Reiki is beautiful in its own sense. And I once had a Reiki session and this person went way too deep with it, and I just thought there were so many boundaries breached with it, and I just looked at him and I thought, you're just bullshitting me. You're just trying to make yourself, and I could see right through it. And I actually felt, afterwards I felt a bit, because it was like, oh, And I thought it was right to then rebalance myself because it was Reiki. So yes, that is Reiki. Any questions? I'll try and answer. I do genuinely try and answer questions. Would you like me to do a Reiki Q&A or a healing Q&A? Right, okay, fair enough. I understand we do. Put below a question about Reiki, about shamanic healing. Even if you look and you think, oh, somebody else has asked it, I want you to redo it. Because the more questions that I get on, so say somebody says, I don't know, do you like sugar in your coffee? If I see 5, not about, that's an I don't know, let me think of a better, we don't want questions about coffee. What else should we ask questions about? How old can you be before you start Reiki, Claire? Okay. If you see that, oh, there's 5 people, I'm not asking that, there's 5, put it down, because the more I get about your question, those will be the questions that I'll bring up. And we'll do a Q&A on Reiki and shamanic healing. Okay, we'll pull us a card, because I haven't covered everything there. Pull us a card. So I'm using Work Your Light by Rebecca Campbell. One card, transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level. Deep healing. That, my friends, is Reiki. Take a break. A life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. Reiki sessions are also about getting off the treadmill. Getting away from the matrix work. Getting away from all of that. Giving yourself some sacred space. Giving yourself some sacred downtime. I actually couldn't have picked 2 better cards to bring this video to a closure. Transformation. Puts you back onto your energetic throne. Empowerment, sovereignty. Freedom, liberation. It gets you through breakups. I wish I'd known all what I know now years ago. Gets you through traumas. Gets you through situations. Brings you enlightenment. Helps you on your awakening and ascension page. There must also always be permission given. So if you think, you say if you're going to do it for your teenage son or daughter, you'd have to ask them. Although anyone older, I'd say, than 10 or 11, you'd have to ask them. And actually you'd want them to know. Even as a child, it depends. Like say if you say, I don't know, I've got a toddler, I've got a 2-year-old. You're not going to get permission from a 2-year-old, are you? I don't think. Just work it out. I've had people booking Reiki sessions in for adult children. Not with me, okay, because I would just nix that. If I found out that somebody had done that, game over. You don't book in somebody else for healing without their permission. There is going to be a comeback from that. Because all that'll happen is the healing will go to them and it'll come back. It'll be a waste of money. You've wasted your money. Or there could be a fallout because it's invasion. It's invasion of someone's sovereignty and their rights. But you can, for your child, if you've got a toddler, speak to your child, make it normal. Make healing normal. So they know they don't need to rely on caffeine and all game consoles and all of that drama. Making healing part of their journey. That they know that there is more holistic ways to deal with life's difficulties. Make it normal. Make it so, you book your hair in every 6 to 8 weeks. They book a Reiki session or a crystal session. Or there's Acupuncture, there's all kinds of things. So if you would like to book a session with me, I am fully booked till November. I'm not going to apologise for it. It is what it is. We do have a booking system now, so it makes it easier. There's no to-ing and fro-ing. The times on the booking system are UK times, okay? So you'd have to work out your own time. So if you book 9 o'clock UK time, you then have to think, what time is it going to be in my country? That's where payment is made as well. So we've got shamanic healing, which I'll do another video about. We've got Reiki on there. We've got the group healings on there. So when I'm doing the group healing as well, so if you think I can't really afford a Reiki session, when I do the group healing, I'm also tuned into Reiki. So I'm using both shamanic healing techniques and Reiki. So I'll sit here, do the symbols, and also bring in the shamanic healing. So if that works for you, okay? There is a next group healing, which is healing the mother wound. There is a video below in the description which gives more information about how that works. please watch that video before emailing me, because most of the questions I get emailed, the answers are actually in that video, and that is £22 for 2 days distance healing. So my menu has got it on it, so it's got whatever you need. There's also mentoring on there if you're going through a crisis, or you need guidance, or you want help on your spiritual path or with your holistic business. I've got mentoring, not packages, a mentoring appointment, okay? And there's also land and home, and I'll do a video about that as well. God, so much information, so little time on this planet. Questions below for shamanic healing. Keep it to shamanic healing and Reiki, okay? More questions we can get. I'll do a video on Q&A. There is going to be another Q&A on its way to you soon once I filmed it, which is from questions that were done weeks ago. But let's keep it rolling. So thanks for watching. Like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. I think that's all I need to know. Bye. See you later. Take care. Mwah. Love to all. Bye.